The thunder virtues out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering, attain bliss and birth and death, and quickly realize non-rule. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened.
Namo Saranto Suche Doye Ola Hadi Samya Samputosye.
Namo Saranto Suche Doye Ola Hadi Samya Samputosye.
Namo Dak Dakta Toya Daya Arahade Tamu Tambo Datoa.
Namo Dak Dakta Toya Daya Arahade Tamu Tambo Datoa. The
unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to achieve the whole within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual meaning. For Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Earth Store Bodhisattva, Venerable Shenhua, or good knowing advisors, Amitofo. Okay, we on slide 225 of the Earth Store the Earth Store Sutra. It refers to great offering. The text refers to great offering. Yeah, that is the Brahmin lady was worried about the fate of her deceased mother who had deviant beliefs. And therefore, she figured that since her mother had deviant beliefs, therefore she, upon death, she probably went to the bad area or fell into the evil path. So she worried about that, and so she sold her house and created a great offering to the temple of the Buddha. Enlightenment flower samadhi self-mastery kings. And so he performed a great offering. Okay, a great offering is a very big deal, big event at the temple. She sponsored. She would hire people to cook and give a huge feast. Invited a lot of sanghas. In particular, in the old times, it's a big deal to have a meal at the temple, because then the poor people can come and have a good time. It's their exposure to Maya, exposure to Buddhism, the reason for them to go to the temple. Okay, so the great offering is a very big deal for the temple. This is how they reach out to the populace. And maybe some of them may have a hard time feeding themselves even. Now they feel comfortable going to the temple, enjoy a vegetarian meal, and bring the family and get a feel. Okay, so it's very nice, wonderful event. So a great offering, not only to regular people, but her ultimate is she wants this Brahmin woman to make a big offering to the Buddha himself, this particular Buddha. And the present, the Sangha present, Sangha is Sanskrit for left-hand people, okay? The Sangha present there, okay? 现在众生, 现在 meaning that at that time they're there. That's the nature of the offering. Okay? Why is that? Because this is part of the Chinese wisdom codes. The Vietnamese do not have it. Only the Chinese have it. The Chinese have this particular wisdom where they say that Master Shiroi mentioned in his lectures, he says, in China, there's a belief that if you make an offering to 1,000 sanghas, at least one of them will be an arhat.
I'll have coffee tomorrow, you know.
It is a rule of thumb in China, in the Chinese. They know that, they really believe that you get 1,000 sanghas together, one of them will be an arhat.
Will be or?
One of them, at least one of them will be, there will be at least one arhat amongst them. Isn't that incredible? What it means, the reason is important because the Chinese, more than us, they understand the importance of cultivating blessings. So, see, their belief is they believe that they should be, if they make an offering to an arhat, the blessing coming back to them is so big, so manifold, that's why they seek to make offerings to arhats. Okay? Is that in Hong Kong too or not?
I have never heard about that. I wasn't a Buddhist when I was in Hong Kong. I knew nothing about Buddhism.
So what happened is that, folks, what happened when I went to Taiwan 10 years ago to learn Chinese and learn the precepts, with our money, what happened, the way, the custom back then is on the weekends, in the summertime, weekends, the few months during the year, where we go to a place, we drive our Hondas to our motorcycles to a place, park our motorcycles, and then there's a bus to come pick us up and bring us to a temple where they organize a Dharma assembly. So basically at that Dharma assembly, we go there, then we recite, maybe they make an incense offering, the incense sprays, we recite one sutra, we eat lunch, and we go home. Okay, that's Dharma assembly, mind you, for Taiwanese. And so on Sundays, okay, the foreigners, the foreign monks like myself, many of them did me, we have no money. Okay, so we go there and then we jump on the bus and we go to the temple, we eat lunch, have a good lunch, a good meal, because we have no money anyway, so we have a good meal. Then at the end of the meal, they have a red envelope. Hong bao. Hong is red, bao is envelope. Okay, so each one of us gets an envelope. So on this big deal, they would rent the entire convention center, so full of monks, to get 1,000. Isn't it cool? This is the Chinese beliefs. So those events, of course, are free of charge. You come in free of charge because they know that the Chinese, they know that Dharma assemblies are always free of charge, unlike the Tibetans or the Vietnamese, where they Nyat Khan charges you money to come and listen to him, right? Or sometimes the Dalai Lama even charges money to come in. The Chinese, you don't charge money for Dharma assemblies. It's just a big no-no. So they all come free, but what they do is they buy these plaques, the paper plaques, the temporary plaques. Okay, so on the weekends, all the walls of the convention center is full of those plaques, yellow or red plaques. Why is that? Why? Lots of money, but the reason being that because if among 1,000 of us and one arhat in the assembly, and the arhat execute the rebirth dharma or the long life dharma, those plaques, guess what kind of immense benefit you get out of it, right? Sure, it's me doing sermon versus an arhat. These sages, they have a much higher kung fu than we do, right? So whatever they do has more effects. That's why all these people are coming there, instead of coming to the externalists and seeking healing and kind of thing, you go there and make an offering, and have the arhat or these 1,000 sanghas perform the healing, those ceremonies on their behalf. Okay? So it's kind of cool this event because for the Sanghas, the organizers have a lot of flags. And for us, we get $50, $100, and a good meal. And then you regular people, get 1,000 Sanghas maybe. Usually doesn't get to 1,000. But who knows? Who counts anyway? Okay? So this is the Chinese belief. And Master Shingon explains that in his lecture. Do you remember that, Randy?
Yeah. But going back to what Flavia said, you cannot know it's arhat when you make the offering. Otherwise, it doesn't count. That's why it has to be anonymous.
Yeah.
So nowadays, what happens? Master Shingon brought the Dharma to here in this country. Okay, in English. So what happens is that only at this DRBA in this country here, where you can go and erect a great offering to the Sangha of the DRBA, and it's going to cost you $10,000. At least it used to cost me $10,000. I don't know what it costs nowadays.
Well, what the purpose for? What would you say for the $10,000 for?
Make an offering of lunch.
An offering?
For $10,000, so then the kitchen staff of the CTTD then cooks a big, huge feast, huge banquet for all the Sanghas. Okay, so it's $10,000 for that privilege. And between us, it's cheap. It's cheap. For $10,000. You need 1,000 Sanghas.
Well, you may not get 1,000 Sanghas.
You don't need 1,000 Sanghas.
You don't.
You go to the right place, you only need one.
Okay, so you're. Oh, I see the logic behind it. Okay.
See? I be selling out 10,000 every week. If I have money, I don't care to go to bed. This is the Chinese wisdom, folks. Okay, so that's why you make a great offering, because the great offering, the meaning of the great offering is then the temple can invite a lot of Sanghas to come around. So now the Vietnamese and the other are beginning to copycat. So what they do is they also invite a lot of Tibetan monks to come to the Vietnamese temples. For different reasons. Now the temples here in this country here, they invite the Tibetan monks because then they do the sand mandalas. It looks beautiful and everything. But they don't understand that the concept behind the 10,000 Sanghas is to try to make an offering to a sage. Then the multiply is so big. Multiply, refer to section 11 of the Sutra in 42 sections. The fact that every time you make an offering, there's a multiply that comes back. That's how you become richer. I explained that in the section 11. You have a question about that. We have online people or not? Okay, good. So the Sutra in 42 section explains that the fact that when you make an offering, you do perform giving, there's a multiplier that comes back your way. So depending on who you give to, so if you give to a sage, then the multiplier is much bigger coming back. This is why the Chinese seek that 1,000 left-home people to make an offering, because they seek to make an offering to sages. That's the meaning. Because they can't tell who's the sage. Right? No one can. So the rule of thumb is you get 1,000 of them together, at least one will be. Got that? Okay. Now, she probably did not necessarily get a 1,000 Sanghas. I threw it in here because the idea about the sutra is that this is a manual of practical things you can do in daily life. Okay, that's why I'm giving you a lot more details than normal. But I thought I threw in the concept so that you understand the Chinese wisdom. The Chinese civilization has really have profound wisdom. Think about it. You know, if I had money, I'd go to the CCTV and make an offering of $10,000 and offer once to them. And I know for sure I make an offering to the Dharma. Great investment of my money, let me tell you. You really understand?
Even nowadays.
So, huh?
I say even nowadays, because when I go there are not that many monks anymore.
You wait until like today, they have a celebration, okay? Then a lot of monks and nuns will be there.
Oh, yeah.
So you wait for those days and offer $10,000. Usually that's when you make the offering, so that they can have the proper occasion for them to gather and invite a lot of the monks back and nuns back.
What if many people does that and they have excess of
Excess of what?
money to?
You ask Bill Gates. You ask what's the other guy? They never have enough. It's never enough for them. So you don't have to worry about it. It's never enough for me. I keep on making. If I do it, I'm good. So.
Would it have the same? I'm trying to say. Would there be the same meaning or sincerity?
You're no fun. You're just spoiling my fun.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, it's supposed to inspire greed in you. What you're saying
Does
is.
it inspire greed?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you know the trick. Okay? The point here is that if you need to create blessing, okay, there is one quick way to create blessing instead of going out there and rob banks or that kind of thing.
But that's my point. With that kind of an attitude, would you really reap the blessing that?
You will, but maybe not. But most likely not immediately. Because if it were immediate, then what's happening is the Buddha is then accepting bribes from you. Then the sages are accepting bribes from you. Right? If it were not true, then they're lying to you. Yes.
But I think if we have the intent to make an offering to get something back in return immediately or in the future, I think that it also subdues the compounding effect too. Yes, there's always cause and effect, but the compounding might be changed.
Yeah, the multiplier. Yeah, multiplier is a little bit smaller when it's motivated by greed. Yeah. But it's okay to eat it. Every now and then. Come on, you invest, you make an investment, you get a twofold return, you're pretty happy, aren't you? Typically.
How about we execute it on behalf of other person?
Yes, you definitely can. That's what she's doing. That's what his dharma is.
Okay.
Right? She's making an offering on her mother's behalf. Okay? And she hopes that the sincere act of offering will invoke a response from the triple jewel and then transfer it to her mother. Yes?
Her mom is already gone.
Yes, she died.
Away.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, if your mom is still alive, won't you want to get her money to make the offering versus you giving the money?
Same exactly. Same exactly.
It's the same.
Same exactly.
Because I heard something about, feeding the animals, that it's better to take their money to feed the animals versus you giving the money on their behalf to feed the animals.
I don't understand. Run it by me one more time. What about the animals? Huh? What about the animals? About feeding directly or you?
Talking about liberating life, freeing, freeing.
What about it?
I was reading a book and it was saying that, for example, it would be better, it would be more effective to take her money to liberate life than to use my money on her behalf.
Her money to liberate life versus your money to liberate life. What's the difference? It's the same money. It's just
In her
money.
behalf. To do it in her behalf.
On the ant's behalf?
Right.
For example, she's very ill.
Right.
She can't get out of bed.
Right.
It would be more effective to take her money to liberate life than to take my own money on her behalf to liberate life.
No.
No?
No difference.
It wasn't that one of the books that.
No, there's no difference. There's no discrimination. Discrimination is only in your mind. Whatever the act of goodness you do is act of goodness. Whether the money comes from Mr. X or Mrs. Y makes no difference.
So we can use credit card and
Absolutely. You can charge it to the hill. American Express, MasterCard, it makes no difference.
Just don't withdraw without permission.
Yeah.
I respectfully disagree. When you take the person's money that is suffering, that's their own offense, and it's cleaner. Just like I think when you go through the Earth Store Sutra, eventually it'll come to the point where only when they transfer the merit and virtue, only 1/7 goes to the deceased person, and a big part of it stays with the other person.
Yes, you can make an argument either way. Okay. The point here is that what I'm directing the answer to is that the discrimination between the money has come from me, come from you. If your mind is to liberate living beings, okay, your mind is you want to create merit and virtue through the act of liberating living beings. If your sincere mind is like that, where the money comes from doesn't matter. So far so good? We're not talking about the 1/6 to 1/7 yet. Okay? I'm talking about the mind who wants to create merit virtue. This is consistent with the smart aleck remark here, which spoils my fun. Okay? That if you do it in a mind of greed, what kind of multiplier you getting back? Not that big. Okay? The song is along the same line. If you sincerely want to create merit virtue by liberating living beings, it doesn't matter where the money comes from. Okay? Because the merit is the same. And then you use the merit from the act of goodness, you dedicate it to someone else. What's the difference? Whether it's that person needs our whole money versus another person, you liberate the same amount of living beings.
Right. That quantity is fixed. Okay. But what I think she's referring to, and what the publication is referring to, is like when we take precepts or refuge on behalf of our deceased ancestors.
Yes.
It's still refuge, but it's not on your own volition. We're doing something on their behalf because they can't be here.
You can't do it.
Form.
Right.
Okay. And same thing, if a person is ill, they're suffering, we're suffering karmic retribution. When we take our own financial resource to release life, it comes from that person who's suffering the retribution rather than somebody doing it on.
Okay. Now we move to That's I got you. Okay, we're on the same page. Still on the same page. Okay. First of all, we agree that if it's an act of merit and virtue, generates a certain kind of multiplier coming back. Doesn't matter where the source comes from. Agreed with that. Now, the second part of it is the multiplier. Right? That's what you disagree about. Right? You're saying multiplier is not the same. You are right, it's not the same. Because each person has a different multiplier. Depending on Sincerity. It's not paribus. It's each person has different multiplier. Each person has different samadhi level. Okay? So in that case, for example, in your case, for example, is that instead of taking your auntie's money, taking money from you from better. You probably are more sincere than her. Is it consistent with your belief? Okay, so we're not disagreeing. We just not delineating the analysis properly. Okay, so that's what you understand too, right? Okay, fine. All right. Any other questions? Okay. We still on slide 225. Oh, why didn't I have the F count? I should blow it up a little bit to make it easier to read. There you go. You forgot today. You forgot. You can't even read it, huh? Cool. Good start. Okay. Number 226. Next slide. Gaze at the venerable image. So she made an offering. And then she went to the Buddha hall and then looked at the Buddha image, this Buddha's image. Okay, she gazed at the venerable image, and the act of gazing at the Buddha and Bodhisattva's image creates a lot of blessings, inconceivable blessings, folks. You know that? So do not take this lightly. For you to be able to go to a temple and gaze at the Buddha statue here, a Buddha image here on the wall, or behind you, creates tremendous amount of blessings for yourself. You got that? So do not belittle, look down on the people. I may say, oh, this monk is a bad monk, or this nun is misbehaved, and so on. They're doing you a favor by opening the temple's door for you to go and gaze at the Buddha image. They're helping you generate so much blessings for yourself. Okay? So don't pass judgment. It's all good and bad mixed up. Okay? So what about inconceivable blessings? There are two anecdotes. Would you like to hear them? Yes, you do. 227.
Question.
Yes.
So after you told us about the blessings, then we look at the image. Do we still get the blessings?
I'm sorry? You're up to something. Okay. Run it by me one more time.
So you told us about the mirror virtue of looking at the statue.
Yeah.
Then we go do that. Do we still get the blessing?
Oh yeah, you still do. Don't worry. Yes.
Lady and I were to a museum and we saw some exceptionally exquisite statues that I had not seen in temples. Is it the same for us to stand there and to be amazed by the beauty of those statues as it is to be amazed in a temple, or is there a difference because it's a house of worship?
No difference. None whatsoever. This is why, folks, it's so wonderful for you to be able to sponsor Buddha and Bodhisattva images. Because it enables people to gaze at them and generate blessings for themselves. Therefore, you are indirectly responsible for generating those blessings. So you get part of those blessings yourself. That's why creating Buddha images is it's very, very wonderful. This is why the second Dharma age, or Dharma image age, is very last that long because people realize the importance, the blessing they can generate from building stupas, from building temples, or building or creating wooden images. Okay?
In sponsoring, you mean by supporting the temple who houses these?
You know, in China, in Taiwan, in China or in Vietnam, if the reason why the temples are doing well for two reasons. Number one, they print sutras. You know that? I know all the tricks. It's more than just reading the flower adorning sutra, my friend. You print sutras. You don't need to recite it. I only need to con you to get me enough money to print sutras. I would have my own temple. Really? Because you're spreading the teaching that generates a lot of blessings and people understand it. You know that? Yeah. That's why for printing sutras, we never run out of money. Always in the back is a list of the people who donate $50 or $20 or $100 here and there. That list of people, okay? Because it's not that hard to get money donated to the print sutras. People realize that the importance of sutras. Okay?
Yeah. Printing the sutra, the next life you'll be way more intelligent than average.
Yeah.
You just like see it one time to know stuff, right?
So this is common wisdom. Okay? So what happened is that the temples, I'm recording this so that in the future all the left home people hear this lecture understand how to build temples and how to build a temple for themselves. Okay? Because what happens is I've noticed in the past where people, they struggle, the monks and then open the temple, they don't know what to do, they have no dharma to offer, like here. People don't come anymore. Okay? So what happened, they could not explain dharma. They have nothing to explain. Okay? So what happened is they started to print sutras. And then all of a sudden, the donations come and the temple gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah? Isn't it cool? Yeah, many tricks, my friend. Don't worry, we have a lot of dharmas.
Is there a difference of printing this sutra with the other, or they're all the same?
The thicker or the more blessing.
Yeah, good answer. Justin, you have more questions? Yes.
Actually, I was thinking about printing sutra once. I called the Jingzong Xuehui and asked them about it. And then they said, when you print sutra, you want to print like a nice looking one. You don't want to print like a paperback one because they said people might disregard them and just throw them all over.
It's more American virtue. So, the same concept. When you sponsor a statue or a temple, you want to be the best possible. Because the more adorned it is, it generates that kind of response from these silly women. Okay? They go in and say, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my God, oh my God. So what happened? They have so many more blessings for themselves. Right? And you are indirectly responsible for it. That's why it's not only because we're vain or anything, because the more adorned the sutras are, or the Buddha images are, the more admiration, the more respectful, the more sincerity it could invoke from the people, from the faithful. Okay? So that's what the sutra says. When you print sutras or you sponsor the printing of sutras, make sure it's the best paper or offer even a box. Back then they have rolls where they put sutras. The box are made of precious, of the 7 jewels, made of gold and so on. Because for that reason. Because people look at that and people are attached to marks. They look at that and become respectful, including us monks. See, when you look at this and you sutra, we have no budget. We wore this in gold leaves and and diamonds. I flash a smile with golden teeth. It invokes a different response immediately. I know all these tricks. I'm just working at it. Okay. One more question. Yes. To the left here, on the men's side.
Especially this guy.
Yeah.
Chinese over English, does that matter, or cause
Accuracy more important, not language.
so if we print like DRB as English translation sutra,
So you want to make the proper Dharma available. That's where the great lessons comes from. Because Mahayana teaching is not available. Be careful what you print, not just any junk. Imagine all the people who print the wrong translation and print like Thich books and so on. His books are junk. And yet we still have their own temples. Imagine if you were printing like Master Hsuan Hua's sutras and stuff. Incredible lessons. Because it is the best Mahayana text available right now in English is Master Hsuan Hua. So on our website, for example, now we make his materials available. We get some benefits ourselves. And I don't know why you guys are so stupid. I told you to put it, upload, and you think, oh, this is infringing on. It's public domain.
I'll put it up to date right now.
You see, these guys are so hard-headed. I tell them do things beneficial to them, and they don't get it. Oh well, you stupid, your problem. Your website, not mine. Anyway, any more questions?
Yes.
Yes.
If printing sutra making can bring money to build temple and stuff, how come Master don't think about printing sutra? Or
maybe he
using all
just
these
didn't
tricks?
tell us.
What if it doesn't work? How do I explain it to you? It's okay for me to sit here in my high lofty chair and say, oh, printing sutra is very wonderful because it works for a lot of people I've seen. What if I print it and it doesn't work? Well, how am I going to explain it to you? It's not the same anymore. It's not the same. Once I know, it's not the same. If I do for the purpose for getting a temple, that's not, then I don't want to do it.
So you're telling us now is letting us know it's not the same if we do it now.
If it's motivated by me. Because if I do all these things for the sake of getting a temple, or getting disciples, or getting fame, that kind of thing, that is worldly dharma. It's no longer transcendental dharma. I don't do that. That will happen naturally. Okay? Things happen for a reason. Things happen because of conditions. You don't need to force it. Because deep down my heart, I know where you're concerned. Deep down my heart, I know that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching over us, watching over me. I have nothing to worry about. Trust me. I will do my part. I do my work. I will shovel the snow. I will do putting the grunt work and clean the restrooms and all those things because that's what I'm supposed to do. But then I don't worry about about the outcome. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to wait until the apple drops in my mouth. Okay? I will do my work, but it's going to happen naturally because it's going to happen at the most appropriate time for me, for all of us. But we still need to do our homework. We do not take anything for granted. Okay? Because let me tell you, if I want blessings, I know there's one thing that generates so much blessings. I see responses time and time again. You recite the Flower Adornment Sutra. Incredibly blessed. Because this is the knowledge, Mahayana knowledge. The king of sutras. That's why I told you about the example of a Vietnamese monk who recited the Flower Adornment Sutra for 3 months, and he got somebody walked in his temple and wrote a check for $1.5 million to buy a temple. And that's not the only examples I have. That sutra is incredible. And Master Shinwa explained it in English for us. Isn't that incredible what Master Shinwa did for us? Okay? So even though people who even though when they sit there and recite the sutra, they still obtain such inconceivable responses. For me, I just can't bring myself to do it for the sake of getting the temple or getting something back in return. To me, it's for us my fun. Okay? But it's important to talk about it so that people know about these different dharmas and that they maybe someday they get a response from it. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. I just personally, it doesn't turn me on. So it's not. I'm above it. It's not my fun. Okay. Yes.
Next month, at CCTV, they have the our sutra recitation. It takes 3 weeks to complete. We do the sutra once.
Yeah.
It's a long sutra.
It's incredible sutra. Incredible sutra.
They do it in 3 languages: Chinese, Vietnamese, and English.
Yes.
No, they separate it. I think one
No,
book,
starting tomorrow.
the one book do it in English, the other
Yeah,
book
yeah,
do
there's
it
3
in
groups.
Chinese,
Yeah.
the other book do it
Yeah,
in
3 different halls.
Yeah.
Right. Chinese, the biggest hall, and they have English hall, and they have Vietnamese as well.
We do it the whole day, nothing but recite the sutra.
Incredible. That sutra is
Excuse me, where is this?
that the city 10,000 Buddhas.
In Yukai.
I'll try to make it. The side one.
Something more. Can't.
Okay. Any other questions? You see, Jimmy, you shouldn't be attached to what you hear. All those are because we look back and say, okay, this is what happened. That's you see the cause and effect for us to understand how wonderful the Dharma is. Okay, but that is transcendental as long as it's not motivated by greed. Okay, that's important to understand that Mahayana is not tainted by greed. Whatever we do in Mahayana should not be tainted by greed. That is Mahayana. If you read the Flower Dome Sutra for the sake of getting something back in return, getting a response, that is greed. That's no longer Mahayana. Okay? Let's see.
But I have a catch-22 is like now that when we do things now, like we know that do like for example if we do good deed we will gain merit and virtue or blessings.
Right.
But then the instant that you are doing a good deed, you remember that phrase that you're doing a good deed, and then you sort of cancel out your merit and
No,
virtue.
not necessarily. You're aware of it doesn't mean, being aware of it doesn't mean, as long as you do not rise to a thought of greed, you're still safe.
You can't let
You
anybody
still-
know, you can't brag about it.
Right. You still are alive. You are aware of what's happening. Okay? Just don't say, now I know I should do more of this and not, now I know I should go to the DRBA temple and give $10,000 and just giving $10,000 to the next temple. That is greed. Right? That is no good. Your multiplier is not as big. So far so good? Yes.
And the added benefit to that, not only to not to brag about it or not to tell anybody, is to do it anonymously. Don't let anybody know that you're doing it for them. So if you keep that totally within your sincerity of your giving, then it's
You have so many blessings already. Don't worry about it. Look at the stars and you come and watch it and gaze at every week. Come on. Why do you have to worry about blessings? Huh?
That's another question.
Okay.
What is the condition why gazing at sight will often give you blessing?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking pleasure in doing good. What's wrong is if you expect quid pro quo
Yeah.
for doing good.
Right. Just do good.
Yeah, it's still good, but that you expect something back from it.
That's greed. That is greed.
Right.
That's not Mahayana. Then you don't understand anything yet. Yes.
So this is more detailed. So
Yeah.
if I'm
Looking for his recipe.
if I'm doing good and I know that I might get some blessing and I'm stuck there, is that?
Why need to stop?
No, stop.
Oh man, stop that thought?
At the top, it's saying, okay, I know that I will get some blessing, and that's where I stop. I don't.
It happens a lot, doesn't it? Nowadays.
Yeah.
It happens. It's so quick. Your mind is so quick.
Of course, your mind is very quick. Your mind becomes aware. Oh, gee, this is wonderful, right? This is great. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But not, as long as it's not tainted by greed, you're still okay.
You always have that moment to stop and look at your motive.
Okay? What I'm teaching you here is that nothing wrong with understanding. Because if I were to explain to you so that to make you more greedy and you will make more offerings and so on, it's not my point. My point is that I explain to you so that you understand the tool available at your disposal. Okay? Every time you go to the temple, you look at the temple, you bow, you generate so much blessings for yourself naturally. Whether you know about it or not makes no difference. Okay? What's important is that the whole point behind it is that you know about it and then you do not become greedy for it. That is wisdom. So you resist this temptation to walk down that road of getting more, hoarding, or analyzing and manipulating so that you get the best of it. That's worldly. We're beyond it. Yeah, you don't have to. Before you were doing just fine. Scheming for it is not going to help. It doesn't help at all. Yes, question.
Oh, Jack can feel it's online.
Okay. They're online now?
Yeah.
Tough luck. They have to listen to the tape about the blessings thing. We're moving on. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So gazing at a Buddha image or a Bodhisattva image generates inconceivable blessing. We're on slide 226. Okay. There's some anecdotes regarding that. Okay. On slide 227, what happened there? Okay. 227. In the past, in the time of emptiness kingdom come one. After this Buddha passed away or entered Nirvana, there are 4 bhikshus and 4 monks who cultivate together. And they cultivate very vigorously. Okay. As you probably know by now, if you cultivate vigorously like the way we do, you have a lot of reflections. Okay? So what happens is that the chi builds up in your dandiya, okay, and it starts flowing, and it creates all kinds of, the pressure builds up and needs outlets. Okay, because of that, these affliction get these monks overwhelmed, and they wanted to create evil offenses. Just as they're about to create evil offenses, they suddenly hear a voice in space. Okay, they say, "Bhikshus, hurry inside the temple and contemplate the Buddha image of that particular Buddha's image, and contemplate as if the emptiness king thus someone is still in this world." So the bhikshus, on the spur of the moment, obeyed the instructions, got inside the temple and gazed at the Buddha, at the white hair mark. of the Buddha. And they further thought that, oh, it's as if he's still with us, the Buddha is still with us. Great hero, please extinguish our offenses and defilements. Okay, they have this problem, big problem. Okay, they want to create offenses. And now they say, Buddha, we have this problem here. Oh, this is so wonderful. It's as if you're still with us, and please help us overcome our problems. And because of contemplation of the image and repentance, and their repentance, they realize that it's wrong. What they want to do is wrong. Okay? 100 million kalpas, they didn't follow the evil path. And later, they accomplished Buddhahood. Got that? See, they're about to fall. They're about to commit offenses. Okay? And take a big fall. Something happened and their voice advised them to go to the temple and gaze at the Buddha's image. They did. Upon gazing at the Buddha image, they felt remorseful of what they were feeling. So they asked the Buddha, please help us overcome this thing here that's building up inside of us. Okay? And that's it, they stopped. They got a response right away. And for 100 million kalpas, that's a long, long time, they never fell. And they later accomplished Buddhahood. You got that? Yes.
At the beginning of class in February, you mentioned that you were at English monastery looking at great Master Shenhua's statue.
Yes.
Was it the same thing?
I'm not a Buddha yet, but...
No, it's staring at looking at her statue, was it the same effect?
Yes. You got the question?
Yeah.
Huh?
You mean her question or my question?
No, her question.
Okay.
What happened is, let me repeat that. What happened is that let me tell you what happened to me. When I was Long Beach Monastery, towards the end of my stay there, I got into a fight with the monks. Back then, I was a shaman. I was a novice monk. Okay, so I got into a fight with them, and I was very afflicted. So I said, I have this big problem, and I was one against the entire temple. They're all against me. Okay, so not a good position. Okay, when you are a novice monk, which is a nobody in our hierarchy, against ordained monks, not a good thing either. And 1 against 40, not a good thing either. I was very afflicted. So I said, I have this problem here. I don't know what to do. So, because I was under attack and all kinds of bad things are happening. So normally I never ask for help. No matter what happens, I never complain, never ask for help. So one day, I walked by the ancestors' hall, the patriarch's hall on the 2nd floor. That's where they have a statue. That's my favorite statue of Master Shenhua. One day, when I have my temple, that's the one statue I would have in the patriarch's hall. It's a statue of him sitting in chant in meditation. Eyes almost closed, just open barely. You know that statue in that hall?
Yes.
You seen that? It's gorgeous. Because it is, I love it because it is a statue of someone in Samadhi. Okay? Kind of a beautiful statue. And I looked at the statue, I went to the Buddha hall, I went close to the statue, and I said, Shifu, I'm in big trouble. What do I do? Okay? So, this is statue up here, I was here, I said, Shifu, I'm in trouble, what do I do? Okay? It happened to be by, and I'm at the end of my rope. I didn't know what else to do. There's so much you can take, no matter how tough you are, right? you are at the breaking point. I was at a breaking point. So I went in and I said, oh, Shifu, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. What do I do? So, and then I looked up this statue, like this. I saw the statue. I was almost close, looking in. I got the answer. Media. Okay. He said media. You know what the answer was?
Go somewhere else.
Thank God for novices. so naive. You're charming, you have no choice. You take the meaning. The training is very interesting as a level person. You become a novice monk, a novice nun to learn to take a beating. You know that? That's the training. This is a secret about ourselves. You learn to take a beating. That's why we become very tough. Because if you can take a beating from these guys, who has higher level gurus and all the wisdom, they unleash you out there. What else can happen? What else can the others do? You can take a beating from me. Right? Like some of you who took a beating from me. After that, you look at your mother and your father and say, oh, is that all you got? Right? Everything else seems so insignificant. That's our training. Okay? So I was pushed to the end of my rope. Couldn't take it anymore. I was going crazy. I'm going to have to do something about it. Got to see him. He said, stay in samadhi, my boy. Isn't that beautiful to teach it? That's the meaning of the statue. That's the benefits. That's a smaller benefit of gazing at Buddha or Bodhisattva image. That means all my affliction away. Instantaneously. You say, that's it. And then I begin to understand about emptiness. All of that is not real. You're making it real. I'm making it real. Understand the saying now? In the world, what was this? The Chinese statement I sent you? Remember? 天下无有一事，用人就让就。Okay? Under heaven, there is not a single thing. Mediocre people disturb themselves only. Got that? That's the meaning of that verse.
There's nothing under the sky.
天下 under heaven. Under heaven. Because the Chinese concept heaven and earth. And man in between. See? Not women, men. Yeah, he's just laughing at it.
I think Tensha could have been translated to world instead of under heaven.
Under heaven. Because see, heaven is the authority over mankind. Okay? Earth is what man treads on. So between heaven and earth is man. Only men only hear heavens, the heavens. That's the Chinese wisdom, Chinese view. Okay? All right. Any other questions?
So is it, there's nothing to fear, is that?
Under heaven is nothing, not a single thing. Not a single thing. It's
There's
we.
nothing, understand, there's nothing.
There isn't a thing. There isn't a thing. It's us mediocres.
So we disturb ourselves.
Actually, Yong Yan is like
自然
ordinary people.
Yeah. I'm
They're
even more.
looking for trouble for themselves.
Not ordinary people.
They create Yong Yan.
Yeah. Jung is mediocre, average.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Jung is average, but you can translate as mediocre. Okay? It depends. There's average and then there's the mediocre. I choose mediocre. You guys choose average. Because I'm reminding you, you look at yourself as mediocre or not. It's not average. I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you about mediocrity. You disrupt yourself because you're mediocre. You disturb yourself. If you still see affliction, you still see destruction, disturbances, mediocre. Don't be so proud. That's an insult, by the way. Just in case you don't get it. She doesn't get it. She refuses to get it. I cannot believe this woman.
If we don't get it, then we not move.
That's right. That's what bothers me.
It's a natural samadhi.
thank you.
It's never somebody.
It's okay.
Okay. Slide 228. That's a bit distracting here, guys. Yes.
Master, you mentioned that afflictions arise from the dungeon. Is that why you ask you to center ourselves when we have issues, cross our legs, and sleep until it goes away?
Not always rise from the Yanji. I didn't say that.
You said it was.
Sometimes it comes from there. It's not always. It comes from everywhere. Actually, the friction has no fixed location. But when I mentioned to you, it's for a particular time, at point in time. 228. Guess who those four Buddhas are. Akshobhya, or Medicine Master Buddha. Jewel Production, that's in the southern part. Limitless Life, which is Amitabha. And Gautam Buddha in the north. That's from the four pictures. Look at that. From gazing at the Buddha image, called Emptiness King Thus Come Once, four bhikshus became Buddhas. Now we reciting their names. On Saturday is Akshobhya, Medicine Master Buddha. On Sundays and on the Pure Land is Amitabha, number 3. Isn't that cool? The second anecdote of the blessings from gazing at images. The Buddha name, Jewel, Awesome, Virtue, Superior, King, Thus Come One. And the bhikshu came to his temple with his 9 disciples, bowed and praised the jewel image. What's praise jewel image? That's what we do every morning. We do an offering incense, and we say the Buddha body, the golden color, and so on. That's a praise. That's what we do. Okay. At the end of their life, they're all reborn by transformation into this Buddha's land in the east. So we're reborn into this Buddha land. Okay. On a large lotus flower. They all practice pure conduct, obtain the Buddha recitation, samadhi, seed. Okay, that's a form of recitation, Buddha recitation, samadhi. And the Buddha gave them predictions and all became Buddhas. So that's there's a Buddha right now, and his 9 disciples are also Buddhists. Okay.
Why is it called Samadhi Sea?
It's just the name of the particular samadhi. Profound is the sea, vast is the sea, okay. Deep is the sea. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Slide 230. Then the Brahmin woman wept for a long time with lower head and then fixed her gaze on the thus come one. Suddenly a voice was heard in space saying, "O weeping holy woman, do not be so sorrowful. I shall show you where your mother has gone." No Vietnamese, so we skip the Vietnamese here.
Yes.
This woman here, the Brahmin woman wept. She's silent. Actually, the English translation lost a little bit of the meaning. She wept. She sobbed silently for a while. Okay, so wept here is cried without making any sounds, and the text refers to her as a holy woman because of her good roots. And she was of utmost sincerity. So far so good? Next slide. The Brahmin woman placed her palms together toward space and said, "What divine virtuous one is this who comforts my grief? From the day I lost my mother onward, I have held her in memory day and night. But there is nowhere I can go to ask about the realm of her rebirth." Slide 234. Moving on. Okay. And this illustrates the concept of filiality in the Chinese culture. Okay. In the Asian culture. Because there is a verse that says, "The tree desires to be still, but the wind will not stop. The sun desires to provide support, but the parents are gone." All right? 237.
It's a very famous, very well-known. It's a very well-known saying.
Is it well-known saying in Chinese?
Yeah.
Really?
What is the Chinese version?
须欲正而風不息，子欲兩年親不在。
樹欲靜而風不止。It says, 树欲靜而風不止，子欲養而靜不在。不在。Right now? My Chinese is that good? Okay, so it says here that the trees wants it to calm down, but the wind will not stop. It's beyond the tree's control. The sun desires to support the parents, but they're no longer around. So what have we done to repay our parents' kindness?
Usually this is kind of a warning to the children to be respectful to their parents while they're alive.
Yes, while they still have a chance.
Yes, yeah. This is what the situation really is usually quoted.
Yeah, but now it's no longer quoted, right? Yes, kids can't get. They can't wait until they get their inheritance. Okay. Chapter 1, to slide 238. A voice again resounded from space and declared to the holy woman, "I am the one whom you behold and worship, the past, enlightened flower, samadhi, self-mastery king, thus come one. Because I have seen that your regard for your mother is double that of ordinary living beings, I will now show you the place of her rebirth." Okay. Slide 241. The response. The Brahmin woman obtained a response from the Buddha from her utmost sincerity, because she really cared for her mother and not for herself. And the funny thing about responses there is it comes in the form of a sound, and yet there is no form. Just a sound in space. See, this is what the sutra, I've been reading the sutra for many times now, and now until you have to explain and begin to pay attention to the subtleties of the teaching. The sound in space, but there's nothing to be seen. Okay? So you actually are meaning, the symbolic meaning there, you manifest production without production. Okay? No form and yet there is sound. So they reveal extinction and yet there's no extinction. Okay, good luck. Any questions? Never mind. Slide 242. On hearing this voice, you just have to hear it so that you say there's a deep, profound meaning behind the sutra here. More than you think it's a simple manual where you learn a few tricks here and there. This sutra is very, very profound. Okay? The sutra, the Buddha explains the sutra in this way, even though he makes it very, very simple, and yet behind it is concealed very profound meanings. Production without production, extinction, and yet no extinction. Okay? You get it eventually. On hearing this voice, the Brahmin woman, we on slide 242, suddenly leapt up and fell down, breaking all her limbs. Those around her picked her up, and after a long time she was revived. She spoke into space and said, I hope that the Buddha will be compassionate, have pity on me, and quickly tell me into what realm my mother has been reborn. My present body and mind will perish not long after this. Slide 245, skipping on the Chinese and Vietnamese slides, text. Oh, by the way, the Chinese text comes to us courtesy of corrections from Danny Sun, because he caught some mistakes on the Chinese text. Let me tell you, the DRDA, not this time, but next week he will. The DRDA Chinese text is very inaccurate. It has missing text, it has typos left and right, it has additional characters it's not supposed to be there. I'm recording this so that I hope that somebody in the RBA Chinese group section need to revise the Chinese text, because I see a lot of typos. Okay? So I caught some, Danny caught some, so next week, not this week, in slide 263, he caught one extra character. Okay?
You don't have to report that.
It's Danny's son, by the way.
Didn't you say yesterday when we listened to the sutra we should not bring in mind of looking for errors? I think I remember that yesterday. It was number 6 on that presentation.
You should not, but I must report inaccuracies. So I'm going to ask Danny in the future to look at the rest of the Chinese slides and check, because then at least we make sure at least our slides will be correct, will be accurate as far as the traditional text is concerned. Okay, but never mind about the English and Vietnamese. Okay, we have no control there. Yes.
How do you know it's correct or not?
We have a reference source against C beta. C beta is probably the most accurate source right now. C beta is the electronic text of the Buddhist canon. Okay, until told otherwise, I take that as the most accurate source. Okay. So this kind of thing here is totally unscripted as far as the thing that happened. In a state of extreme anxiety, she leapt up and broke her bones. Can you imagine? And yet she still only thinks of her mother in the midst of great pain after she was revived by her attendants. Okay? And she knows that she cannot live much longer. The pain is too much. The anxiety is too much. The body cannot take it much longer. That's why she asked the Buddha to quickly tell her before she passes away. Right? Slide 246. The thus come one, with her Vietnamese I'm flying. The thus come one enlightened flower Samadhi self-master king spoke to the pious woman and said, after the offering is complete, return home quickly. Sit upright, thinking of my name, and you will certainly know your mother's place of rebirth. After she had finished worshipping the Buddha, the Brahmin woman returned home. When mindful of her mother, she sat upright, recollecting of thus come one's enlightenment flower Samadhi self-mastery king. We are on slide 249, yes.
Question. How do you distinguish between utmost sincerity and the demonic state?
You can't. Okay, you're so close.
Really?
It's just like stepping with a line. It's a thin line dividing the two. That it? Does the answer does it make you any happier? Huh? Okay.
So
It's a very interesting point. So I've had it quite a few times. People come to me with what appears to be incredible sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
But what they want is this, want to take advantage and so on.
Yeah.
It's not it's all calculated and figured out somewhere.
Yeah.
And I would say it is a demonic state. It manages to look sincere, act sincere, say the right things, and yet their motivation is.
You know, I tell you the secret behind that. They really believe it. That's why they're so sincere.
Yeah, I take that too. Yeah.
You got that, Danny? They really believe it. That's sincerity. They really believe in the evil thing. That's their truth.
But we're
Yes,
just
That's how
telling-
they beat the lie detectors, you know.
Yeah.
Practice that, and guys have told me, like, you know, when they testify, they stand in front of the mirror and keep repeating the lie over and over, looking at
And really believe it.
posture, and you have to have a full 100% integrity. That's why when you see, like, the actors, they're really good, they become that energy. Everything
That
else
is why it's called demonic, because it is so true to them.
Yeah.
You cannot say it's not true because they really believe it.
Yeah.
It's demonic because no way you can touch it. It's their truth.
What about the victim, Master?
Too bad.
Shed a few tears.
But is that correct if they are a victim?
Sure. It's true.
They are a victim.
Sure. Sure. Somebody has got to lose. Demons will not get involved unless somebody has to lose. Okay? Does it answer your question about demonic and some extreme sincerity? It's not very much different.
Yeah, so when you cultivate, it's kind of, you can really tell if you are just being sincere or you're actually entering demonic state, and you just keep cultivating that.
It depends on what your original intention is. It's a very good question. It may sound stupid. But it's a very good question. Don't you think? How do you know?
Right.
It has to do with your intent.
That's right.
And if your intent is off, like, to cultivate, to get spiritual penetration,
Aha.
if
Thank
you off,
you.
like Master Shinwa said this, is if you're off in the beginning and the 10,000
That's
miles,
it.
you're falling way off the path.
That's it. It's too late. By the time you reach a level, if your original intent from starting point is deviant, by then it's too late. Too much work to undo.
So if I cultivate you for my blessing, then I'm off for now. I know you're going to get them.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
hurt yourself.
So do you remain?
You can. I started like that too. I said, never mind about Buddha. Because that's all we know. Come on, folks, that's reality. This is our existence, okay? We cannot make a move unless we see it's beneficial to us. Agreed?
100%.
Come on! You're not fooling me, okay? I know you're up to something. Let's face it, right? But eventually your wisdom unfolds, you begin to let go of all these icky stuff.
Yeah.
That's cultivation. Come on. That's what we call purification. We purify ourselves, we correct our mistakes. That's all. And that's why thank God for the Buddhas, if you don't mind the expression, because the pun, because they look at us and say, oh, here he goes again. But then they don't pass judgment. They don't say, I'm not listening to you, I don't take you seriously. They still help us, they still take us seriously and go all out to help us get what we want. But then eventually we have enough wisdom to begin to understand that maybe after all it's not that important anymore. The closer you get to it, you change. Okay? Cultivation, folks, is many lifetimes. It's only one lifetime. I can tell you that. The reason you're here today, folks, I will tell you this, is because you heard from me before. It's not the first time. It's not the first time we're together. I tell you that.
Is it by experience or you?
It takes a lot of blessings to hear one word Mahayana, folks. It takes a lot of blessings to be able to do for you to hear the fact I explained about gazing at the Buddha statue. Incredible blessings. Okay? So, yeah, you were making some kind of smart comments, you know? Yeah.
Was that like an educated guess, or is that you kind of know all, so you...
Typically, you cultivate, people cultivate together because in the past, you create conditions for that happen already. In the past, RJ said, yeah, right. Once a blue moon maybe for me. In the past, we got together and cultivate Mahayana, and then we enjoy the cultivation. Mahayana, the more you cultivate, the more fascinating it becomes, doesn't it? You, yes or not? Are you truthful now? Are you sincere, or is it demonic?
I think it's sincere, but maybe
yeah, I can't tell, right? So what happens is that for us to cultivate Mahayana together, investigate the principle, because I'm learning just as much as you are, okay? Because I have different sources of learning, so that I need to investigate it, so that I understand enough, so that I can explain it to you. So I'm learning, just like you, okay? And when I explain to you, your response and your feedback confirms whether I understand it or not. So it's helping my learning. Okay? And so we create a condition for us to get together and investigate the Dharma together. Because if it were the first time, we would not have repeats. We would not come back. Carrying, like this lady this morning, that's the first time together. And that's all she does. So she'll come back in maybe another few more hundred lifetimes. She'll come back for the second time. Another 1,000 lifetimes. She'll come back for the third time. And then maybe a little bit longer each time before for us to get together on a regular basis like this. It's tremendous conditions. You You don't want him, man. You want him. Is it my spiritual powers? No, it isn't.
Master, may I ask?
Yes.
You've said before that Master Srimad has said things like, someone was something in a past life.
Yeah.
Okay.
With knowledge of past life, that's one form of spiritual power.
Okay, I was going to ask, where does that come from him? To be able to see that,
He has that spiritual
that I
power.
would be something before I was this.
Yeah.
Or like Freddy was talking about a young girl who was
He's not the only one. Many people have that ability. That's called the 6 spiritual powers. The knowledge of past lives. Swimming. Yeah. That's eventually you develop it. It's not a
well,
big
that's something that we all have.
Yeah, we all have.
Oh, I see.
We all have. We just can't access it now.
And he's developed,
Yeah.
he developed.
But as long as you have spiritual powers, folks, I need to point out to you, it's a very important thing here. You need to understand our approach versus others. Okay? For the externalists, remember yesterday you have to listen, you have to help him get him burn a few CDs, when, especially yesterday's lecture about the Medicine Master Buddha lecture.
Okay.
Yeah, for the old part. I mean,
What did you say?
I talked to him. He said a lot of material, Master Sridhar material is on MP3. He said, so you forcing me to modernize now to learn Mahayana? Because he didn't have an MP3 player. Can you imagine? And I thought I was backwards. Anyway, so what was that?
Spiritual powers.
Oh, spiritual power. Yesterday we talked about the other. Is Jack online now?
Yeah.
The other guy was able to see, have images of the nature of the ailments of his patient. Right? That's a form of spiritual power. He developed the ability quite a while back because he started cultivating when he was pretty young. All right. So you can see that, but I explained to you is part of the picture only, it's not the entire thing. So that spiritual power is limited, right? We have ranges of powers, all right? And what happened is that for them, it's an end goal. They want to cultivate because they want to develop that superior ability, if you will. All right? It's not our approach. We do not emphasize developing those abilities because they're not our end goals. Our end goal is wisdom. Okay? Those spiritual powers are simply tools that to be used for a particular kind of application. But we develop the knowledge and how to use the wisdom, how to use those tools properly. That's what we want to do first. The wisdom has to be there first before you have those tools. Otherwise, you will abuse those tools.
And they just become tricks.
They will get you into trouble. They will bring trouble to you. For example, so let's see, that guy saw all these things, okay? And then he said, oh, this is cool, then I can do this to fix that problem, right? So he gets him engaged deeper in the process of meddling into others' affairs. And one day he tried to fix a guy with AIDS, and guess what happened to his finger? I told you already. He all swallowed up. He did not use acupuncture, acupressure, by the way. He used mantras to deal with it. Okay, to fight with this demon, and he was taught a lesson. It's all swollen. Okay, so this is an example for you to see that. You see that knowledge brings trouble.
Without the wisdom.
Without the wisdom. Okay? So for us, Mahayana is, I explained to you that already before under those slides. But Mahayana is this. As long as your spiritual powers are accompanied by the three poisons, greed, hatred, and stupidity, okay, that is worldly dharma. Okay? In other words, if you have spiritual power, right, and you still have greedy mind, that spiritual power is very limited and will bring you a lot of trouble, a lot of heartaches eventually. At first it's glamorous, so seductive, but eventually you will try to reach way over your head because that power is limited. You only see part of the picture. It's the part you can't see that will bring you great hassle, great trouble. By that? Okay. So that's why in Mahayana, what do? We don't go for spiritual powers. But what do? We get rid of our greed, hatred, and stupidity first. Then the spiritual powers we develop after that, after we purify, then is complete. Got that? So our spiritual power is much vaster. In school, that you can see the palm reader, the fortune teller. In prior lifetime, you go to the Chinese, many of those Chinese and Indian fellows, they have that ability. Prior lifetime, you were a dog. It's not really true. One lifetime. So what's the big deal? It is spiritual power.
I don't need to know. I don't know what the purpose would be.
But duration 2 lifetimes, 3, 4. Buddha's is all the way back. Okay? Because it is unconditioned. Their spiritual powers are conditioned. Yes.
You reach the wisdom faster, or you can develop those spiritual powers faster. No, because that makes a difference. If along the way get the spiritual power before the wisdom, you get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I am sorry to be sarcastic, but you're right. I shouldn't be sarcastic. Should I? No, I'm kidding. Okay, now it happens naturally because spiritual power is. Until you stabilize, it comes and goes. Okay? So, if you're on the right path, when it comes, you're not attached to it. When it goes, you're not attached to it either. You say, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I lost it. Okay? So, you're not attached either way. Then you're still okay.
Because, the example of Hong the people who try just to get their...
they ask about it, try it.
Ask about it. Yeah. I mean, after like 10, 20 years, I have friends who can do that.
Yeah, and so what?
So, that's because when they reach that before they have their wisdom, that's when they get into more problems.
When you have samadhi power, folks, you can develop spiritual powers. Before you reach first dhyana, you can't develop it. After you reach first dhyana, you can develop spiritual powers. You go for it. There's a way to do it. Okay? And it's well documented by the Taoists and the Hindu and so on. Whether it's the chakra thing or the chi thing or whatever, they have their own tricks, if you will, to develop it. Like, for example, that I did at the acupuncturist yesterday. He has the way to manipulate chi to open his eyes, to see it. Okay? But he's been like that for a long time now. So anyway, so you naturally develop and then you lose it, and then but again, you just move along. It's no big deal. Okay. Any other questions? So there's no time to rest. We have slide 249. She managed to finish making the offering throughout with a very painful body. Think about it, folks. We only your legs only hurt now, and you're bitching already. This woman broke all her bones on her 4 limbs. Okay, on the verge of death, and yet she finished making the offerings and then went home. Okay, the home symbolizes the 5 skandhas. Anyway, it's beyond the world. Yes.
Just curious, how do you break your bones? Say you were sitting on a chair.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. That's a lot of force. That's a lot of force coming from the anxiety. Okay, the anxiety, like your body becomes too tense and you become brittle. I don't know if that helps or not. Okay, but she has tremendous power. You would be amazed, folks. This is a very good point. I struggle with that. So you would be amazed at what you're capable of doing when you're in a state of heightened anxiety. You're a different person. You find that?
Yes.
It's not only you, any of us. I relate to you a story that's told by you heard of that radio show, the rest of the story? Harvey something? He died, yeah. Paul Harvey, thank you. He related on the story that he was told by a farmer. He said one day the farmer was out in the field working, okay, and he was driving his tractor, and the tractor tipped, and he was stuck underneath the tractor, and he's dying. The tractor is pretty heavy. So his son, who is 19 or 20 in a farmhouse, somehow became aware that he ran out, okay? While his father, the farmer, was not unable to pull himself from underneath the tractor. His young son, a 19, 20-year-old, came over, got to the tractor, and lifted up with his own hands and pulled his father out, okay? And dropped the tractor down and brought his father to the hospital. So his son, in a state of anxiety, could lift thousands of pounds with his bare hands, and he never could do it again. The rest is history. At one time. Okay. So amazing things happen. All right. Any other questions? So instead of resting, okay, clue, resting. No, she didn't rest. She then sat upright. Upright here means either half a full lotus, okay, not comfortable like some of you. Okay. And recite it. To recite here is to contemplate the Buddha's name for one day and one night. Okay? And then she entered Samadhi and forgot about the pain. So far so good? We are on slide 249. Moving on to slide 250. After a day and a night, she suddenly saw herself beside a sea whose waters ceased and bubbled. Many evil beasts with iron bodies flew about the sea, rushing to the east and west. She saw hundreds of thousands of millions of men and women rising and sinking in the water, being fought over, seized and devoured by the evil beasts. She beheld yakshas as well, each with a different form. Some had many hands, some many eyes, some many legs, some many heads. Sharp, sword-like fangs protruded from their mouths, and they drove the offenders on toward the evil beasts. Some yakshas seized the offenders and twisted their heads and feet together in myriad horrifying shapes at which none would dare look for long. Yaksha, then correct this here. Yaksha sometimes spelled with H and sometimes without H. I'm trying to be consistent here. Okay. Slide 253. Saw. She saw. The eighth consciousness, okay, flew there. So this is a form of astral body, if you will. It's funny how you mentioned, that Luke mentioned the Vietnamese externalist group, pretty famous. Their purpose to cultivate is they send the astral body out and travel. Right? That's the end goal. Very, very large following in Vietnam. Very famous. Even here in this country. They have lots still have a large following. And the guy used to be a playboy, you know that? He's Mr. Playboy big time. How come Luke knows that? Anyway, so she was at home, but then she entered samadhi and her astral body left, the eighth consciousness left and flew there through the hells. Okay, and it's not a hallucination, folks. When you sit for a long time with undeviating single-mindedness, that's when it happens. See all the Tam and all those guys, they don't understand the principles behind it. Mm-hmm. So their cultivation kind of happens. Sometimes it happens, doesn't it? You can develop skills to actually do that. And Master Srinivas has some disciples who can do that. Okay. So I know some other monks who can do that as well. But some non-monks who can do that as well. Typically, you must open the five eyes before you can see things. But actually, here in this case here, this is some of the cultivation details. You may not care about this. In here, her spiritual nature left the flesh body, and that's how the spiritual eyes open up. Now you can freely use it, and then you can see ghost spirits, bodhisattva, and Buddhas. Simple, isn't it? That's the recipe, by the way. Would you like a copy of the slide, anyone? It's online, anyway. Okay, 254. Somebody may want to know, how come the Buddha make such a big deal out of it? Why doesn't he simply tell her where her mother went? And made her go back home, sit upright, but she's sincere enough, right? So why not? Because worldly people are covered by ignorance. They don't recognize good and evil, cause and fruition, cause and effect. So therefore, they use this Brahmin woman's personally witnessing the suffering in hell to give us a warning for us skeptical and stupid people. Okay, that's the purpose behind the story, and therefore, hopefully, when you hear about the hells, which we will find out more about details about the hells, it's not a fun place to be. It's a lot of suffering. Okay, and therefore, as we learn more, we progress deeper in the sutra, when we begin to realize that evil cannot be done and good cannot be not done. Okay? You are above that. Alright? Questions? 255. Stupidity. So we plan all these seeds of stupidity. So what brings you about? Okay? When you're stupid means your mind is closed. You don't understand, yet you refuse. You refuse to open your mind. Okay? You see the Buddha, yet you do not ask for help. You see sutras and yet you do not read. You see the Sangha and yet you do not offer to be of service. You see your parents and you're not respectful. You're not mindful of the world's sufferings and you do not know about effects and sufferings in the house. That is stupidity. Questions, comments? Okay? Let me ask you this then. Since you have no question, I have a question for you. When you go to college, you go to school, which part of this do you learn? To make yourself smart people and wise people and savvy people and superior people in the world, folks.
In college,
Yes.
probably no.
Number one. First one, right?
To try to understand a different way. So
Yeah.
you go to if you are not close to this kind of
Not all of them will be able to are receptive to it. For example, I heard of this what's this? Some people are totally against religion. The moment you utter that you're Buddhist or Mormon or Catholic or something, they think you're stupid. What's his name? Ted Turner thinks that being Catholic is for he said it, right? Ted Turner, he saw his ex-wife. She found out who's a devout Catholic. He said, is it for what? Stupid people or something like that, right?
And Bill Maher takes the same.
Yeah, but he's too comical, so you can't take him seriously either.
So he's serious.
Yeah, I mean he's a devout, an ardent non-believer.
Right.
Okay, to the point of extreme. Actually, he's really extreme about it.
Yeah.
But lots of very successful, even scientists, look down on religion. So they are closed.
Virus database has been
Thank
updated.
you.
But Einstein's not against it.
No, Einstein. You can tell Einstein is not. How can you tell? Look at his eyes. His eyes are like this. You know that? Look at his picture. Not when he's older, and not when he's younger. Younger doesn't count. Okay. When he's old, you look at his picture when he's gray hair and this kind of hair and he's like this. His eyes are like this, right? No one.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. When you have wisdom, that's how your eyes will become. See, my eyes are not like that. Eventually, it will be. No, I'm serious. This is a physiognomy. That's the Chinese knowledge again. So you go like this, my eyes go like this. Not the Chinese where the eyes go like this, or the Japanese. That's no wisdom in here. It has to go like this. Okay? That's very wise people.
But there are those very high intelligent people that have been looked on, down on,
Yes.
if they had any kind of religious involvement at all.
Right.
I mean, you were not respected at all if you had religion mixed in. Freud was one.
Yeah. But what's so great about it? Your mind, when your mind is closed,
Right.
there's so much in your mind that you don't understand. So what's so great about it? Yeah? Right? They don't get it. They don't get it. All right. Now, to be disrespectful for academia and intelligent people in the world, I'm just saying that. I'm just trying to point out to you that the other channel is for developing analytical skills and skills that are important to society, which makes you marketable to society, folks. That's important. You cannot ignore that, right? But that's not the total package. There's a lot more to knowledge, to life than just that. This is why the successful people of the world are unbalanced. Because they lack this. Okay? And therefore, they're not happy. The overwhelming majority of successful people are not happy. You buy that? Why do you have to accept it? Is that the price of success? Is it the price of education? You decide for yourself. Okay. Next slide, 256. I mentioned the yakshas, which is a ghost. So what happens there is the lady saw millions of men and women broke out, okay, and they can outsmart some of the evil beasts, but then they run into the ghosts. These ghosts are very fast. They're called speedy ghosts. That's why they're yakshas. They come in many forms and shapes, and then they toy with the convicts. They contort their bodies in different shapes, okay. And the funny thing about this is that when evil karmas come to an end, they will no longer see these ghosts and beasts. So, as a result of their retribution, they see all these things coming and harass them and give them a hard time. Alright?
This is in hell.
In hell.
Can you see the yaksha here in your world? If you would have some.
Yeah, they're here. They're not only in the house, they're here as well. Yeah. Some of them, the good ones, yeah, the good ones, they are in the assembly. They are the Dharma protectors. Meaning we have invisible beings who are guarding the way place. Okay, keeping things in order so that we're not disrupted by the troublemaker.
You should tell the people too that seek spiritual penetrations, when they see the heavens, they also see the hells.
Yeah.
You see everything.
You don't just see the good, you see the bad too.
Sure. How else are you going to learn? Okay? Any other questions? During this time, the Brahmin woman on slide 257. During this time, the Brahmin woman was calm and fearless because of the power of recollecting the Buddha. A ghost king named Poisonless bowed and came to welcome the holy woman and said, "Good indeed." Typo here. O Bodhisattva, what conditions have brought you here? Excuse me, I need to make a correction to the text here. And I'm back in business. There's a typo on 257 has been corrected. Okay. Oh, time's up. We go too fast today. No controversy, no nothing. So
I'll ask a question.
Yes, question.
Why did the Ghost King call her Bodhisattva?
Oh, that's in the next slide.
Okay.
Bodhisattva because he realizes that he bowed and became very respectful. He calls a Bodhisattva because he realizes that she's no ordinary woman. The Ghost King has spiritual power. He's seen convicts. He's seen prisoners, all kinds of prisoners. Okay, he's seen visitors as well. The guy's around, so he knows. So he calls the Bodhisattva to show respect.
But this happened while she was in the house, right?
Yes. Any other questions? Lucky for me, time is up, so I don't need to make more excuses. I'll be flying today. This is cool. The first time I finished 30 slides.
You call it 3 slides, too?
Yeah, but that's because we skipped the Chinese and Vietnamese.
That's 10 slides.
If the Vietnamese, I probably go to 10 or 15. Yes.
I seem to notice that if you don't mind, if we could take the next few minutes, during our circumambulating, we seem to be losing our order that we seem to follow. And I was wondering if you could explain that to us one more time as to what the order is, and when the men come back to take their place and the women take their place, that kind of.
We do it right this morning. This morning we did it right.
No, I did it wrong.
Oh, well, that's you. You don't count. So. Okay. The order is the left-hand people first, and then the monk before the nuns. Okay, and then the 5 precept sashes first, and the black robes first.
The woodfish after.
Yeah, the woodfish after me, because we together. Okay, but that's the only exception, and the rest of you is men before women if you're wearing the same thing. But the sash first, black robe, and then wood top robes. Does it help?
But men first and women?
Yeah, men first, women.
Always,
Typically, yes, always. It's a etiquette that you women are supposed to show to men, even though you don't think much of them. Okay, so basically it's an etiquette thing. They say that this is how we show our order, our order, and actually it's a yin yang thing because you guys are yin predominant, we are yang predominant. Even though we're slower and so on, but it doesn't matter. Okay, which is more which is. So the yang is supposed to lead so that we take the beating for you. So you have all kinds of time to pull strings and plan, analyze. So see, the man serves a different purpose because our yang nature. Sure. Isn't that? You look at man and say, man, so slow.
And then when you hit the gong and we start to.
Then you put the palm together and you go fast.
Start to
and then the men go in first. Same thing.
The men come in first.
Yes, and then we.
Now, if it's but the nun.
The only exception is when you follow the lead person. The nun has to come first. The person who walks first has to go in first before the rest can come in. By gender.
So
if there's a nun walking, then you have to wait for her to come in first. It's an act of deference, and then follow. There's an order to show deference, to show respect. Okay? Even if you have no respect in your mind, you're learning how to be respectful. Okay? Folks, the more you cultivate, the more respectful you become. Especially you young people, you learn to be respectful towards older people. You guys don't learn that anymore nowadays, which is a shame to me. Young people need to learn to be more respectful towards older kids. They have so much they can teach us. And if you're not respectful, they're not going to teach you.
So on the woodfish person, are they to come in with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're not a part of the group then, at that point. So then it's the fellas go around and they come in, and then the women follow, and we come over.
You always wait for the lead person to come in first, and then by gender you can follow suit.
But if that lead,
In Long Beach, since the nuns go in first, so the women finish this side, the men continue to finish their side last. So it's confusing.
That's what it's confusing.
That's the confusing part.
Yeah. Sorry.
But
No.
as
Yeah, very good.
but as it is with our assembly, the men do it first,
Yeah.
and then the women come in.
That's
Even
because
if they're not-
that's because at Long Beach it's nuns that's leading.
Yeah.
Here is
But we
Long Beach, they're lucky to have Randy there. Otherwise, or Danny there. That's it. No other man available.
But if we do have a nun though, and she comes in first, we don't follow her, do we? I mean, or do we still wait for the men to come in
No.
first, and then we
We follow the nun. So when there's a nun
I
there,
think she comes in after the fellows do.
No.
no,
She comes in
no,
before.
She comes in
She
before.
comes in
She
before.
follows
As soon as she comes in, that's when you follow suit.
Yeah, the woman follows her.
That's the rule
So
of
the
thumb.
men start
You-
this way, and then they come in this way.
Right. You don't take initiative. You go by gender and you follow suit with the lead person. If the lead person comes in, then you come in,
Yeah.
and then the other group comes in.
And without her,
Then the man comes in
then the
first.
men would come in first. And we-
Right. The lead person has to make a move first. So the lead person could be without the left of people. It could be a person with sash or black robe. That will become the lead.
Right,
Yeah.
so like this morning, if we will arrive, Honda supposed to be the lead,
Right.
right? Then she gonna come in,
Right.
and all the women's gonna come in, and then we come in
Right.
later.
So, for example, let's say you were going first, and then you go on this time. That's when I hit the bell. That's when you go. That's when you can.
Okay, but then you guys need to sit in the proper rows.
Right.
The robes up front.
Yeah.
Girls up
Because
front.
then the
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as we on the file when we file.
When they go out, they kind
Yeah, when we file, sometimes it's not always possible. Preferably because some of them like to sit wherever they want. But anyway, when you walk together, try to keep the order. Then it's easier when you go back to your place.
So the lead person really depends on the robes and the sashes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the reason for that is that the rope sash or the status is really based on precepts,
Right.
which is what? Virtues. Okay? The more precepts you take, the more virtuous a person of the Dharma you are cultivating. And we show respect for them. It's not age, it's virtues. It's not gender. Well, not always. Okay? Yes.
Last question. Out of respect and honor of what we're going to be doing here on the 13th of June with our assembly, do we all come in our robes and sashes?
Yes, you should. Because, okay, that's a good question. Oh, you don't know about that. We have an assembly on the 13th where we recite the Buddha's name for the entire day.
Okay.
Can you give me my computer back, please? As someone who can walk around without. Thank you. So we have a flyer here for Luya. Okay.
So we can we send the flyer by email?
Yeah, you can send it down. I have a flyer at printer. I'm leaving a couple here for the non. I have give one to the non-computer person here. And this is Ryan's Shuranga mantra here. Okay. So we have some, and this is the laminating. Okay.
is it all correct?
And this is the flyer. Yeah. And that's the first installment, Jimmy.
We have
You have a laminator.
this is the lunch hall.
No, the lunch hall, yeah.
James, did you mail the last
Yeah.
final one?
Yeah, I have it.
Ask us for lunch. No, correct.
Yeah, I got that. So anyway, so we have a practice. You may want to join us for that day if you agree.
Here?
Yeah, it's going to be here. And so that day, folks, is a big deal. It may be a rehearsal for us, but it's a big deal for a lot of people who will come here to join us. Okay. I don't know about the physical people, but I do anticipate a lot of people coming from all directions.
When they stay for the whole day, when they come in for the whole day, or
No, not necessarily. Doesn't matter.
how many people should we prepare for lunch?
We don't know. It's a nun problem. It's a roast meat problem. They offer to handle the lunch.
I talked to the abbess, and that's not how she understands, and now she doesn't have the manpower to do the work. So we have a sign-up list of all of us will take care of that lunch.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna do potluck.
We're gonna plan
Yeah.
like 25.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so we have a sign-up list. We already.
Okay, let's do that.
But besides this, do we need to bring stuff for the offering?
She told me that she would offer up the food, take care of the food. Because that's the first question I asked her. I have no control of lunch. Okay, so apparently plans have changed a little bit, but that's all right. We can handle it. It's not a big deal.
Probably make something.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Seeds with it, something.
Yeah. What happened is that there are two groups of people here, folks. Okay. So these Dharma assembly are a big deal because they're there. This is the occasion where we can cultivate the Pure Land assembly. Okay. Those are the group of people who are intent on reciting the Buddha's name, cultivating Dharma. They don't care about anything else. Okay. And there's a group of people that's cultivation of wisdom. And there's a group of people who there because they want for fun, whatever, but there's another serious group who wants to cultivate blessings. Okay? So eventually when we stabilize, there's people who more interested in coming and cook for the assembly, and then bow the Buddhas and clean and dust the statues, and then they leave. That's all they want. Okay. So they are perfectly aware of that. When I did it in San Jose, the lady came to me and said, "I'm sorry, I'm not joining your assembly. I'm not bowing with you. I'm not reciting Buddha's name with you. But I'm in the kitchen." Okay, because I know I want to accrue my blessings so that I have enough blessing to cultivate in the future. Right now, that's all I can do. Okay, and they realize it. So when you have a temple, when people, the problem, are we recording? The problem with the temple is that they're not cultivating anymore. They are only doing with the externalists, the healing, that kind of crap. Okay? And therefore, the faithful do not take them seriously. But typically, you go to a temple, you usually have people who will take care of the lunch and the cooking and the cleaning and all those things. Okay? But we eventually get there. It's alright. One way or the other. That's why this morning when I talked about a temple location, that kind of thing, if you have a temple that's accessible, you will find a lot of these older ladies coming around to volunteer the time. Tons of them. Because that's what turns them on. Okay? And we take care of them because all they want is maybe work a little bit, half an hour, helping cook and that kind of thing. And then we have room for them to rest. They rest. Okay? So they need a space where they go and they feel comfortable, feel calm, and they don't mind helping out. So we help them. Instead of sitting home and watching TV or doing something else meaningless, they go here and work, they plan the blessings, and then they calm themselves down, and then they plant the seed for rebirth. That's what the temple is supposed to do for older folks. This is why the Pure Land Dharma is very important. Okay, we can help a lot more people. Okay, who need it right now. Okay, that's why I apologize for my confusion, because I thought it was being handled, but I guess you're in control. You're handling that. So we need to talk. I will talk to her and see about past events. How many people she expects? We need to find out, because she's gonna send out the invitation. Because they have no really serious Dharma events here at the temple. So if we have Dharma assemblies here, once we have a regular basis, I hope they do this once a month. Okay, then they know about it and they start coming. Okay, but I will tell you that the invisible being will be here. It will be a big deal for them. That's why it's good to be adorned. Okay, to wear the robes and sashes if you have them. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. You don't realize it. I will tell you this. That day, we're going to provide a lot of help. You know how? Behind me.
Yeah.
They're not getting help from me right now. On that day, we have the ceremony. On what page is that? The long life transferences or rebirth transferences on the flyer.
Or we go to the
This is when they get it.
Oh.
Right now, they're not getting from me. So that day, okay, we give it to them. That Dharma may even send for rebirth right away. Or provide healing for these people back here. Okay? So I don't think I owe them anything. I don't owe the temple or anyone anything. Okay? But I'm going to pay. Yes?
Is all rebirth flags or debtors flags also?
Debtors,
Two
right.
kinds that go on there.
They have all kinds. They have debtors, right?
Debtors also.
Yeah, debtors. So what happens is that sometimes the people who come here to participate who dream of beings coming to them to ask for help. Okay, so that particular Dharma event since assembly here is remember I told you about the 1,000 people? That's the temporary flags. This is what the Chinese Dharma has and Vietnamese does not. That is, that particular Dharma, that particular temporary flag there is for 1 day or for 1 week or for 3 weeks. It's the same price. Okay? So what happens, you sponsor a plaque to help them. Okay? And that is a very big deal, folks. Why is that? It's not the same as the normal ones. Because of the participants. That's why if we do it right, the big shots come and we have tremendous firepower. So these things will are even more effective.
You mean Bodhisattvas and Buddha?
Bodhisattva, the great Bodhisattva will come. Okay. The city 10,000 Buddhas. When I went there, when I was there as a lateral person or as well a regular person, Bodhisattvas manifest themselves as in the flesh. That's it. To teach. That's it. You're doing it wrong. Okay? So if you're sincere, really want to cultivate, okay, they'll come and support us. So in essence, they are helping us execute all these dharmas to help cross beings over. Big deal. Okay? Unlike every weekend we do it for our own. We practice and we work on this is Kung Fu, our own Kung Fu. Well, on this Dharma assembly is relying on their power, their firepower as well. In addition to ours. That's why the Dharma assembly is a very big event.
So they get no
See, the Dharma does not explain this because you guys take it for granted. Okay? And that's why the Dharma gets lost. The Vietnamese doesn't even have it. Doesn't even realize the importance of that.
They get no benefit from us being here?
Well, they do, but not.
Not like
Our intent is cultivation. We not.
Oh.
On that particular day, the 2 periods of day times where we do a transference, long life transference, meaning helping people with the medicine master Buddha Dharma. That Dharma there, that's what we do it for that particular purpose. And then we do a rebirth transfer for those types of beings.
With that intent.
With that intent. But here today is for reciting Buddha's name and for investigating principles. It's not the same. We're not doing any transference directly for that benefit. I tell you this with personal experience. When I was in Taichung, Taiwan, learning precepts, the temple there is next to a cemetery. The temple in Taichung specializes on teaching precepts for bhikshus only, not even for bhikshunis, only bhikshus. Okay, so it's right next to a huge cemetery. Because it used to be a long time ago. You know, back then in Taiwan, we get a cemetery because you're far away from the city. Now they keep on spreading. Now they have the temple happen to be next to the cemetery. So back then, in my young days, I had this thought. I said every day when I cultivate, I recite the Da Bei Chou, the Great Compassion mantra every day. Okay, and I recite a lot of them every day. So every day I would transfer the merit and virtues of my cultivation to my Dharma protectors and the local spirits. Got that? So I'm giving away. I say, okay, I dedicate I transfer my merit and virtue to say thank you for protecting me, thank you for helping me, and thank you for cooperating with me. Okay? And so I did it every day. And one day, they sent us out to do ceremonies. We invited out to do ceremonies. So that one day, I was tied up the entire day, so I didn't do it. Okay? I was reminded by my neighbor and said, please do not forget to dedicate your great compassion mantra for us.
Your neighbor?
That's how the cemetery.
Oh.
They're so grateful. I said, please do not